Hey guys, how's it going? First of all, I'm going to talk about the strategy a little bit for the daily challenge, and then I'm going to go a little bit into some sciencey things that I hope you guys will like and or maybe understand from my explanation. Anyways, let's talk about the strategy just a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it that much because I thought the daily challenge was not that bad compared to the other ones. I did farm a ton, so if you guys don't feel like farming, you don't have to. I realize that I'm a crazy farmer and that I do these really weird things, and just to get some extra money at the beginning. Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. It's just like habit for me to farm. Anyways, I got a bunch of farms to start, and I used dartling guns and a glue gunner to basically own all the first few levels. And level 49 might be a little bit difficult for you guys if you don't micro exactly correct. If you're having a little bit of problems, just make a cannon or something along those lines. 1-3-0-3-2 cannon should be totally fine. Or even a 3-0 boomerang will be totally fine as well. Put him somewhere in the middle of the map and he'll be good for a while. Anyways, after that, I pretty much just started massing Moab Maulers for any of the Moabs coming out, and I got a few super monkeys here and there. Super monkeys aren't even really the best thing, but I had so much money I really didn't care about the end of the game. So that's why I ended up using so many super monkeys. It might not have looked like it was a very good idea. It's just because I didn't really care. That's really all I got for the strategy. If you guys have any problems, let me know and I'll try and help you out in the comments or whatever. Now what I want to talk about is the Higgs boson, which you guys probably heard about. It's not totally secret. You guys probably seen some news articles about it or even watched some videos on it maybe. I'm going to do my best to try and explain it to you to the best of my ability, to the best of my understanding. And my understanding is not perfect. I don't have any super extreme physics backgrounds or anything like that, but I will do my best to try and explain it to you. First of all, I think this is probably what I should start off with. There are 4 forces in the universe, and there's gravity, electromagnetism, the weak and strong nuclear forces. And we pretty much understand that particles, these like invisible particles, pretty much interact with things like a magnet, for example. They interact with this magnet, which actually makes it have that magnetic property, which makes it seem like it attracts things and or repels things. But what we didn't know was how gravity worked. And if you think about it, like everything has gravity pretty much. Just about everything has mass, or anything that we usually think about has mass. And why does it have mass? And then why does the few things that don't have mass, like light particles, photons and all that, why do they not have mass? And that's a good question to bring up. And until maybe about 6 months ago, we had no idea, but we didn't really know very well. We thought that there was just this magical particle or something like that that existed, and it turned out to be kind of true. I guess the best way to put it is that we used to think that like things had fields around them. For example, gravity was caused by a giant field. Like it just emitted these particles that made gravity happen. So you would just have some of these particles that you would emit that would like attract other things to you. And the Earth has a bunch of these particles which attract it to you, and that's wrong. That is not true. What actually happens is these Higgs boson particles are spread out equally throughout the entire universe. The entire universe, they're spread out completely equal. They are completely invisible. They don't have mass or anything like that. They're very extremely hard to detect. That's why it took so long in the LHC in Europe, and that's why it took them so long. They actually had to smash atoms together to find this particle, and they had to do so much work on it to make sure they actually found what they thought it was, using extreme technology like cameras and just energies, like finding the finest amount of energies you could find that you could think of at the moment. And so, like I was saying, there's all these particles spread out through the entire universe, and what gives things mass is how much those particles interact with the particles we think about, like protons, neutrons, electrons, pretty much all the particles that make up atoms or even fundamental particles. And some of these fundamental particles interact with the entire field even more than other particles, and that's why things have different masses and different densities and all that. For example, a photon does not really interact with the Higgs field, which might sound like weird that I was saying that fields don't actually exist. The entire universe is a field of Higgs bosons, so that's why that makes sense. It's completely equal. I mean, field might not be the best word, because usually you think of a field as some sort of high density gradient and some sort of low density gradient. That's not true. It's completely equal. And like a photon won't really interact with it, but a proton would. A proton would interact with it quite a bit more, and that's what gives protons a heavier mass than something like an electron. And that's basically why everything has different masses, especially fundamental particles, not talking about some of the bigger things that you might think of, like a person. Why is the density of a person that? That doesn't really explain that. Most of the fundamental particles. And that's really all I'm going to talk about today. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope my explanation was good enough for you. If you want to hear about anything, let me know. Also, somebody keeps commenting on my videos. I don't know who it is. I don't want to be mean to you, but somebody keeps asking me to post a video about, I forget the word he used, but the animals like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and the Chupacabra, and he wants me to talk about them a little bit, and I guess I'll talk about them for a little bit. Ready? They're not real. They don't exist. That's all I'm going to say. There's nothing really else to talk about. They don't exist. I don't know why I need to talk about them. They are fake. None of them exist. None of these magical creatures. Unicorns? Nope. None of them. So, just wanted to get that out there. They don't exist. You can argue with me if you want, but you're wrong. Anyways, have a fantastic day.